People who've called the cops on their friends. What happened? I'm in my freshman year of college, and last week I went to a huge frat party with my two best friends. Will, Matt, and I have known each other since we were little and do everything together. On the way, I remember Matt telling us that the girl he liked was texting him and told him she was also on her way to the party. He told us, "Oh, I'm getting with her all right. I don't care what she says." We laughed with him, having no idea he was serious. A few hours in, we were all pretty drunk when I thought I saw Matt drop something into her drink. This is someone I've trusted my whole life, so I didn't really think anything of it. That is, until I went upstairs a half hour later and saw Matt leaving one of the bedrooms. He was putting his shirt back on, and I thought he got lucky, but after looking inside the room, I saw her unconscious on the floor. He didn't see me, and I wanted to knock his ass out right there, but I didn't. I stayed with the girl until she woke up, and she knew what happened to her. I didn't want to call the police on her behalf, but I was seriously pissed off. Last night, I decided I wasn't going to let this slide and called the cops on Matt for underage drinking. He was arrested, but what I didn't know is that Will was drinking with him and was also arrested. Now Will's gonna lose his scholarship, and I don't know what to do.
What's the smartest thing you've ever seen someone do? My 6-year-old daughter has always been pretty smart, but last night she did something that honestly scares me. My husband and I were in the living room drinking with some friends when I was about to go put her to bed, but just then she happily walks in and asks us to play a game with her. She had a grin on her face, the kind of grin that tells you she was up to something. She knew it was her bedtime, and we assumed this was just to get an extra few minutes of play. She then grabs a bottle of wine off the table and told us it was the prize for the winner. We thought it was sweet, so I told her we'd play her game, but she had to go right to bed after. She agreed, and less than a minute later, she gave us all crayons and paper to have a drawing competition. She told us to each draw a different shape, and she would judge who the winner was. Over the next few minutes, we all drunkenly drew different shapes and colored them in, but after we gave them to her, we were confused when she didn't even look at them. She proceeded to take them into the kitchen, neatly staple them together, and write her name on the top. I asked her what she was doing, and she runs out of the room and yells, "Homework done!" We all just looked at each other in shock, then immediately burst out laughing.
What's the most insane coincidence you've ever experienced? My mom was 15 when she gave birth to me and put me up for adoption. My parents told me about her, and I still have the letter she wrote to me when they gave me away. It said she was sorry she couldn't be my mom and will always look out for me, even though she isn't in my life. Well, fast forward 30 years, and I'm now a doctor. I was looking over my patients for the day when I immediately recognized my mom's name. I've only ever seen one picture of her, but as soon as I saw her walk in, I knew it was her. Hearing her voice for the first time made me tear up, and I couldn't bring myself to tell her during our first checkup. The next time she came back, I asked her if she had any children. She told me she had a baby when she was a teenager, but is now infertile and would do anything for another child. She told me about how she wanted to keep the baby, but her parents wouldn't let her and forced her to put it up for adoption. Then she noticed me crying. She asked what was wrong, and I struggled, but got the words out that that was me. She looked at me for a second and just hugged me. She said she had a strange feeling of wanting to be near me, so she scheduled her appointments as early as she could. We had dinner that night and have stayed close ever since. She always tells me how proud of me she is and feels like she finally has the son that was taken from her.